I just hear a bam, 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 bam. And I'm like, okay, what the heck is that? I go look outside. I turn on the light, and there is this white dude with a hoodie on and his hands in his pocket.
Oh, wow.
Can't make this up. I run to the room, and I get the gun. I load it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Tim's Bros Podcast, the #1 trending podcast. Check the stats. Check the stats. Thank you guys so much for watching, for listening, viewing, and subscribing and tuning in. Thank you guys so much. It means a lot to us.
They're tuning in, bro.
They are tuning in.
They're tuning in. They're watching. And I know the haters are watching, too. They're watching.
Whoa,
They're watching.
I know. I know. It's crazy, right? That's the one thing that I love is, man, you know what? I heard a preacher say this one time. He said, let your haters be your elevators.
Wow. You can say that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good, right? No, but thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. Honestly, it means the world to us. You guys are amazing. The support is crazy.
Huge
you guys
support.
get into the comment section. It's out of control. It's crazy. I can't even control it anymore.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that's being said, it's nuts. So we're obviously here. I always forget to do our introductions, man. I suck at this, so I'm trying to get better at this. But we're here with Dino. Yes, sir.
The
Dino.
greatest coffee maker. What's up?
Yes, sir. Greatest coffee maker of all time. He is here with us.
Say that one more time. Say that. I like the way you said that. Say that one more time.
I said the greatest coffee maker of all time is here.
It's never too hot nor never too cold.
Yeah, exactly right. But this is the crazy part: is
Hey, you don't speak unless you're spoken to.
Sorry, Mr. Dido.
So you just can we cut his mic? Yeah. What are we doing?
You know what? You could go ahead and introduce the person that's to your right.
To my right here is my assistant.
Oh, Jesus.
It's the assistant.
The assistant
to the assistant.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you know what I'm saying?
Let's give him a round of applause.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So again, don't just.
Sorry.
So we're obviously all the haters I know. They're actually the people that are giving us the most views, which that's great, man. So with that being said, that's why our budget is going up,
and that's why we are the #1 trending
podcast. All right. So as you guys can see, the setup just keeps changing. We've added JP, the assistant to the assistant, aka the secretary, whatever he is. I still don't know.
Butler. All that stuff,
He's also a TSA
janitor.
agent. So this guy pats people down for his job and
for a hobby.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, the TV with our logo on it. Yeah. I kind of wanted to make sure that if for some reason we had to check some facts, some stats, I can throw it up right here, man. Joe Rogan style, right? So, we're moving up in the world right now.
Yeah.
So I'm beyond excited. Thank you guys once again. I cannot thank you guys enough for tuning in and watching. And we've had some great guests. Yeah. We've had a lot of really, really great guests. I so far, you guys put in the comments below what has been your favorite podcast. Yeah, your favorite podcast, your favorite episode. We did get some two things I want to announce before we get into this podcast. Number one is we will have merch very, very soon. Yes, sir. Merch. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Merch. So we got merch coming in. Check that merch right there. Look at that. Yes. Look at that. Yeah, it doesn't get better than that. All right.
We need a new model though.
What's that?
We need a new model.
Wow. A new model. Golly.
We're gonna cut right there. Get him out of here right now.
He needs some milk.
So
he's fired. You know what? You're fired. You're fired.
He's over there.
Walk back home, buddy.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not.
I'm hitting these sound points on cue, bro. I tell you, I'm just built different, all right? I'm just built different, everybody.
You're fired. You're getting a raise. I'm getting a raise. Producer's getting a raise.
Producer, yeah, exactly. So, back on track.
Yeah.
Merch coming out very soon. We'll have a couple of different colors. We'll also have we're trying to get some t-shirts, some hats, all that good stuff. So stay tuned. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, but you guys are also following us on Instagram, because that's where we post the most. So,
Pretty soon on TikTok.
pretty soon, hopefully. Yeah, we got to figure that out. So we just haven't been doing it. So we have the merch coming out, and then I honestly, the second announcement I almost forgot. That was really close.
Right.
That was really close. Is thank you guys so much for giving us the names for the segment at the end of the show. We are still trying to figure out which one that we're gonna. I don't know what it's gonna be called.
It's
but
tough, bro.
Yeah.
It's
So
tough.
far, I think we might either go with Spill the Beans.
Yeah.
I really did like that one, and then I can't remember the one. There's another one.
I just went blank too.
Yeah,
It was a good one.
It
Though.
really
It really
good one.
was.
It was a really good one.
Or maybe
so.
it wasn't good enough because we don't remember. By the way,
Yeah, Spill the beans.
Yeah.
We'll just stick with that one, right? So, yeah. Anyways, we have had no shade. We've had a couple of guests that have been sick. They haven't been able to come out. So we are doing a podcast with just us. So hopefully you keep staying tuned and you don't leave. Please don't leave. Yeah. So please stick around for the entire episode. But yeah, thank you guys once again for tuning in.
for
so
sure, man. For
so
sure.
how you guys been?
Been good, man.
So far so good.
Yeah, the drive up here, JP didn't say anything at all.
Anything? Yeah.
Just stay quiet. I don't know if he was mad.
Look, it's not my fault. I woke up late. Okay.
Yeah. So I found out JP lives in the ghetto.
I do.
Because apparently they were already getting shot at. They were trying to get mugged. You were just trying to go pick him up.
trying to pick him up, bro.
Poor guy, man.
And then you live like in a dead end, so it was hard for us to get out. It's like, come on.
once
bro.
a shooting starts, it's like, yo, that's it,
Yeah.
man. We're screwed. We're in a cul-de-sac. There's no getting out from here.
Exactly. No, this guy woke up late.
God,
I did.
JP, is he?
It's 'cause
Is he
you-
trying to get a job, or is he? What?
He's fired
Usually
as
the
of right
gunshots
now.
wake me up in the morning, but there was none today.
There was
so.
none today. It was nice and quiet. Yo, so wait, you told me you're a TSA agent.
Yes, I do work
Yeah.
at TSA. Yes.
What's the craziest thing that's happened at TSA?
The passenger? Oh no, the other day. I don't even know if I should say this, but we'll find
Hey,
out.
you're on the number one trending podcast,
yeah.
okay? And I'm telling you to say it, so say it.
Yo.
Daddy chill.
I'll see if I get a call from the soups. No, but there was this day, this old guy just came in with a bag full of knives, rope, a couple handguns,
Just
What?
wow,
big
just
old Bowie style knives.
Going to California, I just gotta take this stuff. It's
Yeah.
it's some props for a movie.
We asked him why did he take it. He said he didn't know. So yeah,
What? You need to leave.
yeah, you need to leave.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I've just seen with people. There's some weird people out there, bro. When I went out to New York with Josh, and I've been out with with Destiny out there in New York. Obviously, Karla has gone with us. You see some of the craziest things, and you realize people are crazy. People are weird. That's part of why I do what I do. That's part of why I train. Because I really thought about it. I'm like, I'm 160 pounds. And like, yeah, it's, you know what I mean? It's like, what would happen in a street fight? You know what I mean? Like, because I've been in fights only maybe once or twice, but I was a lot younger.
did you win?
I won one, and the other one, I would say, kind of got started and it finished really quick. But the first one I did win. It was a little dirty, but I won, so it doesn't matter.
That's all that matters. You
But
want
I'm like,
first?
no, I'm grown. I have a family, like protecting my family. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I'm like, and you can't carry everywhere. For the people that do wonder, I carry. I know you carry.
Yeah.
Do you carry?
I can't. Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well, here in Texas, the laws have changed. Yeah. So in September, everybody can carry as long as you can buy a gun. So for me, I
He
think
carries my equipment. That's what he carries. That's what he carries.
Golly,
You know what I'm saying?
that's
My
tough.
clothes, laundry, everything, bro.
That's tough. But yeah, you know what I mean. So it's like, okay, I'm in New York. I don't have anything to defend myself. What if like some weirdo just comes by and hits me with the right hook? Like, what do I do after that?
You're gonna put him directly in the chokehold.
Yeah, but before when we have gone, I would have literally just been kicking and screaming, seeing
You'd
just
have been
what
Captain Insano.
Captain say no, shut no, Moisey. Or I would have, I probably just would have like gone kick to the groin real quick. You know what I mean? Or I would have throat punch. I probably just would have resorted to something like that, gouge the eyes out, and then get out of there. You know what I mean?
So like, are you hot tempered? Like, you have a short fuse?
I used to when I was younger.
Carla.
Yeah.
Does he have a short fuse, Carla?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
She said a big old.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I was really bad at one point. Like to the to the point to where I would like throw stuff. I would slam doors. I was that way when I was younger. When I was in my early early to mid 20s, I would say that was primarily me. And then, you start maturing, you start aging, and things kind of simmer down a little bit. So now I'm not as big of a hothead as I used to be, but I was at one point really bad. So I don't know
Gotcha.
how I haven't been like a Bryce Hall in 40 street fights. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how that hasn't happened, but yeah, like I said, I mean, for me, I just, I've always been like a chihuahua, you know what I mean? Just bark a
Gotcha.
lot, so that was kind of me. But yeah, no, the plan for me was just a quick little, boom and then run out.
So
That's
nothing
all I
here
would know.
like
just like
Jesus Christ. Like nothing here like in Dallas, nothing like that. Like you never had any encounters where like you
Like you don't
had
have any
to
warrants
defend
out for
yourself?
you.
I can't
Hey,
say that out
if
loud
you
right
interrupt me one more time, you're getting kicked out of this room.
That's what I tell Dino all the time.
Yeah.
Dino does that to me.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
Dino, if you interrupt me one more time, I swear to God. No, actually, I haven't. You get here in Dallas. The thing about Dallas is you do have a lot of people that have guns and trucks. That's for sure a thing. But you get a lot of like middle fingers and road rage. But you don't. At least me, I haven't been in any encounters to where it's like, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, that's why I've gotten into it. I think a lot of it too, I've gotten into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu just for the fact of like just being comfortable in my own body. I think that's another thing. Confidence, being a protector. So I think for me, that's always been kind of my thing. So, I've always, for me, if I'm scared of something, I'll get into it. I'm like the opposite of what a lot of people do. A lot of people are like really scared of certain things, so they don't do it. And me, I'm like, oh, I'm kind of scared of this, so I want to do it. And I want to, I don't care what it is. And so, it's just like, fight or flight mode and just do it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So I'm that type of guy for sure, hands down. So.
Man, self-defense. He ain't afraid to put someone in a chokehold, bro.
I'm not.
He's
So in
right
those
now.
cases, Tim, would you rather fight them with your hands or reach for your gun?
Oh, I mean, for sure, if I got a gun, I'm reaching for the gun. Because
Okay, right there. I'm gonna stop you right there. I didn't interrupt you. All right, I didn't interrupt you.
I swear to God, bro. I swear to God.
Don't fire me in front of my assistant, Tim.
Whoa. That does happen,
that's
man.
me.
Yeah, you get hit and a fart comes out, you know what I mean?
Okay, so I guess dive into detail because I know some people are like, oh, he's gonna reach for the gun first. We have all these gun problems. Like, it's not like that. I mean, I know there's a lot of things out there where you hear guns
sure.
involved in a story, and it's just
For
like,
sure.
oh no. But yeah, some people are like, oh, I would use my hands, which I'm not dogging that either.
No.
But you personally choose a gun.
Yeah, no,
first.
I mean, look, the whole, like, those guys on TikTok, those guys that are like, this is how you de-arm somebody. No, dude, that doesn't work. Like, somebody has a gun to your face. The whole rush hour move where you grab the gun and flip it around and, that stuff does not work. It doesn't. If you want to go meet Jesus, then do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At that point, you just got to give up whatever you got to give up. And then, the rest is just kind of in the person's hands, whatever that has a gun. But I've had a couple of people that I've talked to that have been mugged, that have been they've been at gunpoint, with a bad guy or whatever, wanting money, jewelry, and whatnot. And they are like, there's nothing more like, what's the word, unempowered, or like just not being able to control a situation. Like, there's nothing like that until somebody has a gun to your head and you don't know whether it's loaded, it's not loaded. It could be a BB gun. You don't know, right? But that fear of like, my life can end at this moment, that is the crazy part, man. So for me, it's like, am I going to go into a battle, people that have guns, am I going to go in with a sword? No, you're not. You got to equally be as empowered. And the thing is, there are laws, but there's people that break those laws. That's what people don't understand. So I'm not trying to be like super controversial, but for me personally, I love to have dialogue with people. I don't like to argue with them because I'm never going to change their opinion about certain topics or politics or even religion or anything like that. I've had to learn to not, because I am a person that loved to argue. I used to love to argue. Karla will tell you. Oh my God, yeah. See, she's shaking her head. She's like, yes. Oh my God, yes. I love to argue, and I had to learn. And this is one thing that she taught me is like, you're not going to change people's minds, man. If they believe this is what they believe. You can have a dialogue with them, and maybe 10 years down the road it'll change. But going back to it, for me, people are like, we got to just take up all the guns and nobody have guns. The thing is, bad guys are going to have guns, whether there's a law or whether
it's
there's
like,
a
bro,
buyback.
just look at drugs. They're illegal, but, bro, they're brought in every way. They're
doesn't
going to
matter.
be there. And same thing with guns, man, honestly.
Yeah,
It's the same
and
thing
look,
with guns.
if I can avoid a fight, I'm going to avoid a fight at all costs. I'm not going to be the hothead and be like, well, I know Brazilian jiu-jitsu, so I'm going to choke you out. No, not even. Dude, first off, I'm a white belt, okay? Do I know more than the average person? Yes. Don't laugh. I'll choke you out right now.
Hey,
okay? So,
watch your manners, bro. Watch your manners, okay?
he was just like,
Daddy, chill.
but no, I mean, for me though, I know more than the average person, obviously. But still, like, I'm not gonna go out and try to be the alpha male and go beat people up. But if it does resort to something, and I win or lose, at least I do know how to defend myself. I do know what to do in that situation. But going back to your question, if I can have an upper hand on somebody, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad guy. I'm not trying to shoot to kill. But if I do have an advantage over somebody who's trying to mug me with a knife or even mug me with a gun,
Gotcha.
I have something to at least protect. And especially, like I said, here in Dallas, everybody has a gun in their truck. Almost everybody. Like, if you see a truck, I can guarantee you it pretty much has a gun inside of that truck. And so it's like, that's why road rage, man, especially here, you got to be careful, man. You have to be careful. But for me, I just don't. That's my premise. Look, bad guys are always going to have guns. People freaked out about the whole law here in Texas where everybody can carry as long as you've you've purchased a gun legally.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they're like, oh, that's it. It's the Wild West. Everybody's gonna, that's it, shootouts. And I'm like, no, because the good guys aren't just gonna shoot just to shoot, and the bad guys are still gonna use guns no matter what.
Yeah.
So a crazy story that happened with us. The only encounter that I've had that I had to, there was 2 encounters where I had to grab my gun. One, we were here playing Call of Duty. This was before you joined our group, but I think it was me and Boog and a couple of other people. We're all, we're playing, and I hear a bang on my door at 2:00 in the morning, bro. Yes, I was playing at 2:00 in the morning, but we were playing 2:00 in the morning, and I just hear boom, 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 boom. And I'm like,
it was me asking to have to be his assistant.
hey, can I be your assistant? Yeah, exactly.
That was after Tim blocked you?
Yeah, exactly. I had to make 3 accounts.
Yeah. All those Smurf accounts. So I just hear a bam, 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 bam. And I'm like, okay, what the heck is that? I go look outside. I turn on the light, and there is this white dude with a hoodie on and his hands in his pocket.
Oh, wow.
Can't make this up. I run to the room, and I get the gun. I load it. I go to the door.
Well, what kind of gun? Because I saw your hand go. What kind of gun? I saw,
Don't worry about it, man. I got all kinds. I can't remember which one I grabbed at that moment. I think
Which one? Wow.
Yeah.
The RPG was.
Yeah,
the RPG?
it was the RPG, man. Yeah. It was the my bombs that I got. But no, yeah. So I go to the door, and I'm planning on opening it with my foot against the door, so if he bum rushes it, my foot stops it.
Gotcha.
But also be like, yo, what? It's 2:00 in the morning. What the heck are you doing, right? It didn't even escalate to that because Karla started calling the police. And
Did she hear the knocking?
Did she hear the knocking of the door?
Yeah.
No, she saw me run into the room frantically, and I wasn't like going crazy. I was just running, got it, cocked it, and she's like, "What the heck? Like, who are you about to kill?" Like, she got worried. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, "Yeah, there's somebody." I was like, "There's somebody at the door. Call
Daddy,
911."
chill.
yeah, exactly. There you go.
Daddy, chill.
So I go to the door, and she's calling 911, and the guy, I already hear the person on the other line, the operator, and they're like, what kind of guns do you have in the house? Let us know. Like, what does he look like? And she's like, I don't know. And Karla freaks out in those kind. Me, I'm real chill and calm because I've seen too many freaking movies, like action movies, so I'm good, man. I'm like ready. I feel like John Wick.
He's been waiting for that moment.
Oh yeah, man.
He was already playing Call of Duty.
It was like Phil Collins, man. I was waiting the entire night.
Tim had his dead silence.
I had the whole thing, man.
His
I put on the
ghost.
vest. Had the vest on.
everything.
Yeah, had everything on top. Had a UAV overhead. Had to call in some favors. And so I was ready. And he walked off, luckily. And apparently his car had broken down. But then the cops got here, and all of a sudden it got fixed, and he drove off. That was the only one instance here at my
Jesus.
house. No, praise the Lord. Yeah.
In the name of Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. So for me, I felt protected. I felt fine. Karla was just freaking out because she knows how I am. She's like, yeah, you're about to kill somebody. And I'm like, and so she was freaking out about that, but we were fine. I'm good. And then the other instance was we were coming back from our ranch. We had just went hunting, and we were coming back really late at night. And our car, we got a flat, and we're on the highway. And then we pull over, we go to a gas station, and we're in the ghetto. Okay, in the ghetto. I mean, literally, it's a bad spot. We park. I get off and look, and I'm like, yep, it's flat. It's for sure flat. And I go back into the car. And when I go back in the car, dude, there's parking for days. And these two white guys, what's the deal with white guys and me? I don't know what it is. They're tatted up from here on down, blasting rap music. They're in this like old Cadillac with spinners, and they pull
nice.
up. Yeah,
Nice.
just a touch, right? Yeah, it looked like they kept going, but they're stopped, right? I'm like, oh my gosh. So they pull up, they're right next to us, and they just stare at us. At both of them. I cannot make this up. They're both staring at us, and they're smoking, and they're listening to rap music, and they're just doing this. And I'm like, oh, it's about to get real.
Sup, dude?
Yeah, what's up, dude? You like my ride? Yeah.
Did you
Big
join
gulps,
them
huh?
in smoking or no?
Yeah. I was like, hey, man, pass it over, dog. Hey, what's up? No. That's like my cholo. Hey, what's up,
what's up,
dog?
homie?
What's up, homie?
Hey, what's up, Booze?
Hey,
what's up?
Where
What's
you
going
from?
on?
Hey, you from San Antonio or what?
You know JP or what?
Hey, you know JP? You live with him
the
or
West
what?
Side, yeah.
Hey, yeah, I know his grandma too,
Yeah.
She's my best friend, eh?
Oh, bro, this morning my grandma was legit about to report Dido.
Yeah. I know. She was like,
she came up like to my window like, oh.
yeah, and then you with your busted Spanish, she's trying to talk to you in Spanish.
Boy, looked like he's having a seizure.
And he's like, I'm here.
And you know what I messed up
For-
on? I told her, no habla inglés. I was like, oh, well, no.
She's like, yeah, dummy,
no
I
habla
know.
español.
You know. And then he talked. The funny part of the story is you do exactly what my mom does.
I talk with my hands,
Yeah,
bro.
she'll talk with her hands and she'll do this whole
I'll be
thing
like-
like I need for you to go get JP, and she's talking, and like this like Asian accent comes out, and I'm like,
Asian.
Mom,
Yeah,
why do you
like,
do that?
why?
Yeah. Like, why is it?
That
why-
was me with your grandma, bro. I was
Yeah.
like, me,
Oh my
no
gosh.
habla inglés.
No, I'm not.
Like, I'm over here throwing up gang signs, but that's where I'm getting shot at,
That's
bro.
right, guy. That's
Throwing
where
up
I
gang
get shot.
signs.
Oh, he's from the south side, eh? No, north, dog,
Yeah.
north. Oh, but no. So we ended up, just we're stuck, right? So I end up grabbing the gun that's in my car, and at that moment, it was just like it was a sigh of relief. Like I felt I was Gucci, and I just stared back at him, and then I was like, okay, we gotta go, we gotta get out of here. Let's
Like,
try to
you
go
didn't show them the gun. You just grabbed it.
Oh no! I showed him. I was like, "What's up?" No, I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
You're like, well, hood you rep?
Yeah. Hey, what hood, eh? No, so I just pulled out the gun. I just pulled it out and I had it on my lap. And it was
Gotcha.
loaded. And Karla once again is freaking out. Alessandra's like in the back, just like, "Oh, Daddy, you're good, cool." Like he's like, "Oh, it's like Fortnite." I'm like, "Yes, exact. I'm about to down these dudes and finish them." No, and so, but I felt protected. Have I used it? No. In hunting, yes. In gun ranges, yes. I'm pretty efficient with the gun, and that's fine. But I've never used it in an actual situation, and I'm glad I haven't.
Yeah.
But at least I have it. And for the spiritual warriors, people are like, "Oh, whatever." I'm like, man, Peter had a sword. He was chopping people's ears off, dog. He was like, "Pow!" You know what I mean? He wasn't scared of violence.
In the name of Jesus.
And then, yeah,
In the name of Jesus.
yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, he was just.
Jesus Christ! We love you, God!
That was Tim when he brandished his gun.
God.
So yeah, so anyways, so I'm a firm believer in, like, obviously, train, learn how to operate, your gun, and be able to do it. Another crazy story. This is about to be very. I'm throwing everything out there. Okay.
Just do it. Number one training podcast.
Number
Don't
one
forget.
training
Come on.
podcast. So I've actually had an incident with a gun before myself.
Wait a second. Hold on.
I
I'm gonna hold you right there.
Should this be on YouTube?
Is this about?
Yeah.
And I heard this from somebody.
Yes, you probably heard it. Some people know this, but I'm okay with saying it on my podcast. Like, I'm totally fine
Hold on.
with telling people how this.
Is this when you shot yourself?
Yes. Yeah. So before I was efficient with guns, going back to what I was talking about. When I get scared of something, I get more into it. I know that's weird, but that's just how I operate because I want to overcome my fear of whatever it is. So this was early on. I had maybe one gun at this point, and I had it in my room. And
that Airsoft 9000?
It was the Airsoft 9000, man. Yeah. And anyways, I ended up having an accidental discharge, is what it's called. Shooting yourself just sounds really dumb.
Hey, did you go to a doctor for that, bro?
I did. So I ended up having an accidental discharge. I was okay. There was one in the chamber, and I did not know of that. And now I have the now it's like second nature. I check the barrel.
Did you have like a Dumb and Dumber moment?
Yeah. No, but the thing is he didn't get shot at all, right? Yeah, exactly. So this was very early on. I can't remember how young I was. This was a while ago now. But I ended up having an accidental discharge. It went in, out, and it hit nothing but muscle and fat. I went to the emergency room. The what's it called? Ambulance came and they picked me up. They took me to the hospital. It was definitely not funny then. It's hilarious now, and people do make fun of me about it, and I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me. That was a long time ago.
What did your mom say about that?
My mom was pissed, and she blamed it all on my dad. Because she was like, "You're the one who got him into guns. You're the one who takes him hunting." And I'm like, "Mom, it was an accident." Like, and at this point, I'd probably had hunted maybe like 2 times, bro. Like, once again, I was very early on. I had no training in weapons. I wasn't efficient with them. I didn't know. I knew what I was doing, but I didn't. Looking back, I was an idiot. Like, I really was. So I had that happen. I go to the ER, and I have a doctor that used to be, I think he was in the Marines, and he was a doctor in the Marines, and he had been deployed. Like, he's not like a doctor who's like, "Oh, I'm a doctor, I'm in Marines." Like, he was like legit. I think he was in Afghanistan, and so he's seen people die, he's seen people get shot, and he's like, he literally looked at me and was like, "Hey, dude, I know you're probably embarrassed about this, but you would not believe how many times this would happen in the Marine Corps." And people that were deployed out in Afghanistan, they would be at the shooting range and they would just be careless. And a lot of times it's carelessness. And he's like, and I'm talking dudes that are like, these are some of the baddest dudes. And they would shoot their foot, they would shoot their leg, they would it would skim their leg, it would it would happen all the time. And he's like, I feel like I did more of that, patching people's wounds because they shot themselves than actually in war. And I was like, dang, that's crazy. So anyways, he looked at it and he goes, "Oh, you're good." And I'm like, "What do you mean I'm good?" He's like, "No, I mean, it's literally relative to like a paper cut. Like, you just got a paper cut." And I'm like, "Paper cuts don't hurt this bad, bro. What do you mean?" And he's like, "No, it went in and out. You didn't hit anything crazy. You literally just hit some fat and some muscle. You'll be fine. It'll heal up like a normal paper cut." He's like, "You're fine. You can walk out." And I was like, "What?" And it was like, if you see it, I do have some scarring, but it's very small. Like, how do I say it? It's not like in the middle of my leg. You know what I mean? It's like off to the side. Like, I literally missed my leg, or I could have missed my leg by like an inch or 2. Like, that's how, like, literally, if it was just an inch or 2 over, it would have just gone straight into the ground and I would have been fine. But it was an inch or 2 over to my left, and then that's where it hit me. And I had my leg was like this, so it just went in, out, in, out, in, out. And it was crazy, dude. That was probably one of the like craziest moments of my life. So anyways, all of that to say is I'm super pro gun. But after that, I got a lot of training and I learned how to really use guns, how to clean guns, how to have barrel awareness. And so now I am like the nerdy kid in school that would remind your teacher that you had homework. That's me when we go hunting. You know, I'm like, barrel, no, triple check that. Look at it. And people are like, "Dang, Tim, okay, it's not that serious." I'm like, "Yeah, it's because you haven't
check
had
this
some."
out. Check this out.
Check this out, bro. I got this in Vietnam. So
Battle scars.
Yeah, battle scars, bro. So I'm serious, dude. It does happen. I think the percentage is like 20. I think it's like 25% of people have accidental discharges in their houses. That's a statistic. It's like, so if you're part of the 75% club, congratulations.
Wow,
I'm part of the other club. So, but anyways, yeah, so I do think that it's important, and I know we've spent a good amount of time kind of talking about guns, but man, we're dudes, and
Nah, I'll gladly change the subject. That's I got a question for you, Tim. I got a question for you.
okay.
Is the Earth round or flat?
Oh, are we getting into conspiracies?
We are.
We
Oh,
should.
nice.
We should.
Okay.
We should.
I personally believe that it is round. I would love to believe that it's flat. I would.
Okay.
I would love to believe that because, I do feel like there has been stuff that I find very skeptical. But for me, I definitely, I'm like, no, I've seen some of the science behind it and I do understand it. I do get it. So I'm like, okay, I think it's round. And then I've seen too, like, I don't know if you've seen people like make homemade rockets or balloons and it goes up into our atmosphere and then you see down. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it does look circular. It does look like it's a sphere. It doesn't look like it's flat. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yeah, I think that's good enough. You know what I mean? For sure. Why? Do you?
Oh, I mean,
you know?
I think it's a triangle.
You're a freaking idiot. I swear to God.
Nah, man.
And I'm his assistant.
Yeah, he said,
Cannot see. I'm legally blind.
yeah, you're blind, bro, if that's what you
Nah,
think.
man. I believe it's round. I mean, I'd probably, for getting technical, probably like do more research. But nah,
Yeah.
man. I'm on
JP?
the round side.
I believe it's round, but
Okay.
there is some evidence that there's some strong. Hold on.
Hold on,
Here
bro.
comes
Hold on.
Let me get my
Before you
tinfoil
make
hat.
any living-
Can I Google it? Can I Google it?
Google it.
Look, that's what the government wants
Hey,
you to believe.
Google Earth. Come on. You seen Google Earth? It's
Yeah,
round.
Come on now. You seeing Google Earth?
No,
Come
but
on
there
now.
is some strong, convincing evidence that it could be flat.
Why?
There could.
No, but why?
So this is not from my research; it's from my barber back in Houston. Shout out to AB if you're watching.
You about to? Okay, go. For
I
it,
know
go
I'm
for it.
about to expose him, but
I don't know. In this picture, it looks pretty round to me.
wow.
It looks pretty round,
Yeah,
right?
it looks pretty round.
Yeah, and the world has these like these lines, right? To show that this is the United States, like that's how it is, right?
Hey,
what the government wants you to believe.
Back to your strong evidence.
Okay, what are your
Okay, it's not
evidence?
strong, but it is convincing. It does make you think.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me think.
Let me.
Oh my God, JP, you're wasting our time now.
Fired
Come on,
again.
man. Yeah,
Fired.
Get out of here.
Get
this
him
guy
outta here. Out of here to the good
No,
old bye.
he does use this one. I don't know if you've read in Revelations about New Jerusalem being a square, right?
Okay.
So he's like, why would God change the new heaven and new earth from a circle to a square? So he should, since the New Jerusalem is a square, Earth should be a square.
That's not convincing enough.
That's not convincing enough.
I mean,
Because there are actually parts in the Bible. I would have to look up because I did find it at one point because I was getting in a debate with an atheist person. This was a long time ago. I was probably in my early 20s, and they tried to use that argument about the Bible says the four corners of the earth. And I've heard that. So I started Googling and I started doing some research, and then I ran into, I forgot who it was. The very smart man, very, very smart man. I can't remember his name, but he's from Oxford. And he actually shows in the Bible where the Bible actually says that the earth is a sphere. It's a circle. Because there are actually scientific proof in the Bible about certain things. About it actually, there is scripture about the earth revolves around the sun. Because back in the day, science thought that it was the opposite. So the Bible has said this for many years. Bible has talked about dinosaurs. You know what I mean? Before dinosaurs were even discovered. Did you know dinosaurs were discovered around George Washington's time? Like around, I think it's like the late 1700s. The Bible had already talked about it well before that. And a lot of different things. So for me, I'm like, okay, because you can put four corners on a circle. Like, I know that might sound really dumb.
JP just had that like
Look.
Roberto look like.
Look, like I could technically put a corner here, a corner here. I could put a corner here, and I could put a corner here.
no,
Could I
because
not?
supposedly one of the corners or one of the walls is down in Antarctica.
Okay.
Supposedly that's why they.
Okay.
don't want
Well, I
people
could put a
to-
corner here. I could put a corner here. I could put a corner. Don't test me on this, JP. All right. So, anyways, that's just my 2 cents on that. But do you guys believe the moon landing was real?
Oh man.
I
dude,
think so
that's-
for sure.
Because I just saw evidence about that today, actually. somebody saying that it is true, like it did happen. Because some people will say the whole boots, the boots don't match up, but they actually, the guy was explaining that they wear a certain type of boot over that boot that has the ridges. That's what put that, that's why it was put that way. Or people are like, there's no gravity in space, so why was the flag standing up? And they're like, oh, it's because it was an L-shaped pole like this, and so that way it could stand up. And they're like, also, if there was like 500,000 people that worked on that project, I mean, how many out of all those people, there had to be a good amount of people that come out and be like, yeah, it's all fake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is if you have a really good telescope, you can actually still see the Apollo, whatever number it is, 11 or whatever. You can still see I forget whatever it's called, the thing that the shuttle or whatever. You can still see it there. And so I'm like, okay, that was more convincing because I did believe that we did not land on the moon. I did believe that for a long time. I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely one of the skeptics, or I'm like, I think NASA's lying to us.
What do you think the thing is about? And again, it's not that I research this on a daily at all, but just that we're on the topic, I've heard certain stories about, we don't have the technology to go back. Come on, bro.
I think that's
Come
we did
on.
that in '69.
Yeah.
We can do that now in 2021.
Look, if your boss Bezos can go.
Hey, yeah, your boss,
My boss
Bezos.
is Tim. All right.
Yeah, for one of the places that he works at.
Okay, one of my bosses, the one who pays me. Yeah, I know he went
the
to
one
that.
that's not as rich as the other one.
So too.
Yeah, exactly. That's hilarious. We did talk about aliens on what's it called?
Come on.
What's his name?
Just for a short time.
On
I
Julio's
forget his
podcast.
name. Oh, is that his name? That was someone with a J. Jose.
I think Jose, Hozay. Shout out to Jose. I think, I'm not trying to get too spiritual with this, but I do think aliens are just like fallen angels, right? Like I've always believed that. I think there's evidence to support that. I think there's enough science to support that, and also enough Bible to support that. I think we could dive into this. This is a whole other segment, but I remember there's a thing called Message Behind the Music. I don't know if you've ever seen that before, and that's a whole other thing. I'm not going to get into that because that's a whole conspiracy thing itself. But there's a guy, you can look him up. His name is Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley was a satanic worshiper, Mason. He also has written a bunch of books, and in his books, there's certain things that he talks about.
Parents,
like,
don't log off right now.
Yeah,
Please don't. Going down that road.
yeah.
We're about to pray.
Yeah, it's called in the book. He has his own 10 Commandments, and it's literally opposite of the Bible. It's literally do what thou wilt. That means do whatever you want. Do everything backwards. Play records backwards. Do this backwards. He was back in this guy. I can't remember when he was born. I gotta look it up. But check the facts. But this guy was. Let's see. It's coming up here. It says he was born 1875 and he died in 1947. So this is well before even records were a thing, because he was probably in his, I don't know, he's probably in his like 30s when he was doing all this, 20s, 30s, 40s, and he would say play stuff backwards, like subliminal messages. Like there's a whole book on this. You could literally go to Barnes and Nobles and find this book. I'm not kidding. And in the witchcraft section, and on the back, the last page says, when you're done with this book, burn it. And he believed in a lot of different things. He believed in basically like having sex with whatever or whoever you want. Make up your own rules, sacrificing kids. Like, yeah, I mean, there was literally countries that wouldn't even let him in. Now, all of this to say, this guy would conjure spirits through mirrors. So he would stare through mirrors, and he explains how to do it in his book. I'm not gonna explain it here because I don't even know. But and plus that's freaky. But he would explain how to do it, and he said when he saw an image, he decided to draw it. Okay, watch this. This is where it gets really interesting.
No, we better bless the studio after this.
Yeah.
Karla's lighting candles already.
Pull out my rosary real quick.
Jesus. Wait, are we Catholic now? This is what he ended up drawing from doing that watching this figure appear, he ends up seeing it, and then he draws this.
Santo.
And this is our modern day alien.
Yeah.
So this is back in, once again, this is probably back in early 1900s when this happens, and he draws this image, and he ends up saying that this is the spirit that he saw when he was looking in the mirror, and he drew it. And if you see movies, you see different things. Like, this is what we see now. Yeah. So I'm like, whoa, that was really, that's so interesting. This guy has actually influenced more music than you have ever, than anybody. And this isn't a conspiracy. This is facts. Once again, we're a factual show. So, but you can see him. Watch this. I mean, this is crazy. I wish I had somebody to do this so I can keep talking, but I'm gonna do this. Try to think in my head.
What was that? You keep your hands down. All right. Keep your hands in your pocket.
Check this out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, if you look on this cover, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart. This is by the Beatles. If you actually look at this picture, okay, they were asked, Paul McCartney and John Lennon, they were in an interview, and they asked, man, this is a very interesting cover art. This is really, really cool. Who are all these people? And they said, these are people that inspire us. We love all these people that are here, and they inspire us. If you look right here in the back, right there, that is none other than Aleister Crowley. Crazy. And this isn't even it. I can show you more of him in these album covers. Check this one out. Yeah. So you see this cover art. This is of Michael Jackson, and this is his Dangerous album. Now you can see a couple of things here. And I love Michael Jackson, by the way.
Yeah,
so this is really tough for me, and this is a hard pill to swallow. But it looks like a normal cover art. Looks kind of crazy, but you see a couple of things here, like for instance, the upside down world. Why is the world upside down? Also, if you see right here, there's a kid holding this skull here. Now, what was he always in the media for getting in trouble with was with kids. And once again, Aleister Crowley would sacrifice kids because that's what he believed in. Well, guess who this gentleman right here is?
No.
That himself is Aleister Crowley right there, holding this little girl with the skull right there. And I could literally spend hours talking about this. I showed this to some people and they're like, no way. I'm like, look, I can't make this up. You can look it all up. It's not a conspiracy. Why I'm saying all of this to go back to our original conversation. I think he had an influence in movies and aliens, and I think that's where we get it from. But I think really in reality those are just spirits, and they're honestly just, I think they're fallen angels. That's all I think it is, honestly. Yeah. If you're watching this and you're not a spiritual person or you don't believe in God and stuff, then obviously that's your prerogative. But for me, for sure, that's 100%. That's what it is. Yeah. So,
come on, JP. Yeah. What's your take on it? What's this alien thing to you?
I agree with Tim. I believe they're fallen spirits too.
Don't you ever agree with him? You agree with me. Okay, let's get that straight.
Get that straight. Right? Don't ever stray.
Oh, no, the correct answer is let me talk with Dino, see what he thinks.
Yeah. That's the correct answer. You just passed.
Huddle.
Yeah. Huddle.
What are some other? Y'all have any other conspiracy theories that you guys are currently on? Or?
No, I mean the only other thing I can think of is the 9/11 thing, which people, whether that was an inside job, whether it was an inside job or not. That to me, I don't want to believe that was an inside job.
No.
But then there was a lot of stuff that came out. I remember like years after, right, when it wasn't such a sensitive topic, that came out that I'm like,
I don't know. I just
like that does look like an explosion out there, and like stuff like that. And I don't know whether that's just overthinking, but for sure for me, I think that's always going to be a conspiracy that I will never I can teeter totter and be like, I think it was, but no, I don't think that. I mean, come on, like innocent people. Yeah. Then I'm like, yeah, but have you seen like this and this? And I'm like, no, I can't. So that one I am still like.
And I totally get you on that. Where it's like I know people right now like, oh my god, these guys are crazy. No, like
Yeah.
it's just when you've seen something like that that's very like in our history, but then there's someone that comes and like puts this information out there, and you're like, that sounds like it could be.
Yeah.
Then obviously your mind is like, oh my god. And we're not saying we believe all of that. It's just like
No.
it just makes you think.
Makes
like,
you think.
Whoa,
It makes you
there,
think.
man.
I mean,
So-
there's certain things that make you think all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, even like
like Tim thinks,
Yeah.
the Dallas Cowboys are the greatest freaking
Oh,
team in the NFL, and they're
come
not.
On, come on.
They're
Hey,
not.
hey.
You know
got
what
to
I'm
put
saying?
some dang respect on my Cowboys, okay? We got it this year coming up. Mark my words.
Oh,
We're taking
man.
it.
Hey,
We're
they've been
taking it.
saying that since what, 86?
Gosh,
85?
Hey. We dominated the 90s. Calm down. Calm
They have to
down.
bring out their VHS tapes and
Yeah,
everything.
Y'all
bro.
just because we're the dream team. All right.
More
We're
like
the
the
Yeah, y'all
America's
keep
team.
dreaming. Y'all keep
We're-
dreaming.
We're America's team. We're the dream team. We're the A team, the only team. And y'all just jealous. I get it.
Yeah,
I
y'all the
understand.
one-star team, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. A one-star team.
No, but I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah.
like, again, just going back to it.
Yeah, I mean
Make
it's
it you-
hard. It's hard. Like I said, there's a lot of conspiracies. I even think there's like there's people that get into like NBA conspiracies, like
Oh,
they purposely do this, they purposely
rigged
do that. It's
and-
rigged.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean there's things like that for sure. You know, I think that
Like all these Spurs trades, they're rigged.
oh man, the Spurs got the bad end of that stick. Let's just put it that way. That's for sure. But yeah, if you guys
Patty, if you're watching, come back.
there you go. You heard it from JP. Those guys are like, we ain't listening.
Hey, bro,
Yeah.
You're talking out of
Tim
hand,
who?
bro. I'm gonna need you to be just. Keep it down, bro.
I need you to tone it down, okay?
Tone it
I
down,
need you to,
okay?
hey.
You're being louder than me.
But yeah, no, I mean, for me, for sure, there's still some things that are a little unclear. On
Unclear.
Some of
It's
these,
just-
some of these conspiracies. My sister makes fun of me and a couple of other people because we will sit there and like talk conspiracy theories, and she's like, "Oh my god, here we go again, conspiracy! Oh my god!" And I'm like, "Man, it's interesting, bro. It's like really interesting."
Yeah,
so.
man. JP, come on. You have any one that you're kind of like about or?
Well, there is this one theory. I don't know if Tim can clear this up for me. So there's this theory
Uh-oh.
that
Why, Tim? How come I can't clear it up for
It's
you?
because I know more.
because
Okay.
he knows more.
Okay.
Is it
Okay.
true that Dido kept sliding in your DMs for a job?
Oh, that conspiracy! You know what? I can go ahead and fact check that one. You were in my DMs, but it wasn't even a job. At first, it was just like, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that?
Hey,
You
how do
know?
you get your hair like
How
that?
do you get your hair like that?
Hey, how do you do the mullet, man? No, yeah, like we for sure like had dialogue back and forth, and then it turned into one of those things. I'm like, yo, do you just want me to like? What do you want out of this? You know, and he's like, man, can you mentor me? Like, can you be my? I was like, look, just be my assistant. That's what I did. I was an assistant at one point. You know, I had to go run and get coffee. Like, I did crappy. I haven't put this guy through half of the stuff that I did. I was painting
He's
doors.
lying, bro.
Nah, that is
I
not
had
a lie.
to walk on hot, fiery coals, bro, to get to where I'm at right now, bro.
Oh my
I
god.
can fact check that.
You know what? I'm about to say it.
No, honestly, I was washing dishes. I was painting doors. We had to paint a whole floor, this soundstage that we had. I can't remember how many square feet it was, dude. It was huge, and I had to paint the whole floor. I had to go run and get food for people. I remember locking out. I don't know if some people might know who he is, some people might not. But there's a guitar player. His name is Andy Timmons, and he's a phenomenal guitar player. And he had a band and whatnot. I remember I locked him out on accident. Like I totally locked him out of the studio. And then the engineer that I was assisting at that time, I wasn't assisting him. I was just in that one session. I wasn't like his assistant, like a permanent assistant. I was just, assisting him in that session. He gets mad, dude. He chews me out. Like, how can you let the talent stay out there? Like, blah, 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 like whatever. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, all right, now go get his food. And so I went and like had to go grab him food. And I was so defeated. I remember calling my dad and like, Dad, like I don't even know if I want to do this because my pride was hurt. I was such a prideful person.
And your dad hung up on you?
My dad's like, get it together. Click. No, he was just like, no, I mean, like, hey, Miko, this is what you want. This is the stuff that you got to go through. This is part of life. Like, no one's gonna help you. You got it. You got to either sink or swim. I was like, okay, and and I did it and stuff. So I haven't put you through half of the stuff that I was put through because, man, that stuff sucked.
I put him through a lot of stuff.
Take notes and put him through it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So after all that hard stuff, how did you start your career as an engineer?
Oh man, this is a whole podcast in and of itself right there.
Cliff Notes version.
Okay, Cliff Notes versions. And I'll give this story and we'll try to wrap things up. But I essentially I worked in a studio here in Dallas. It was called Maximedia. It's no longer there. The school that I went to learn how to engineer and produce and all that stuff. They ended up buying the place out. But I was there. My first. Normally, you would have to intern for like 8 months. 8 months to a year in order to become an actual paid assistant. So I interned for 4 months because I would bust my butt. I was there every day, all night. My parents would tell you I practically lived there. I didn't even like sleep at my house. Sometimes I would literally stay there and sleep there.
Take notes.
Take notes.
Yeah,
Because I wanted it. That's how bad I wanted it. And at that point, we were working with mainstream artists. So, you know, it's the coolest thing in the world, right? Like, you get the call to work with Alicia Keys or, you know, Ludacris or Lil Wayne or whatever. You know, you're like excited, you know?
Yeah.
Kanye's walking in and you're like, holy crap, this is Kanye freaking West, you know? It was like, I'm trying to get to that point to where these guys are at. So I'm going to bust tail. I don't care what it takes. And I started off with a class of like maybe 6 interns, and all of them started dropping like flies. They would drop. And I was there, faithful, getting chewed out. Didn't matter. I was there.
Yeah, there was 20 when I started.
I had 20.
There's only one.
That's it. But yeah, no, for real. I mean, there was probably like 6. There was probably like 6 to 10 interns, and they just started dropping. And it was me and a couple of other guys. And anyways, fast forward 4 months, they're like, dude, you're doing a great job. Like, you know what? We're going to hire you on as an assistant. And I was like, what? This is awesome. So I started getting a paycheck, and I was making pretty good money just assisting. So now I'm essentially telling the interns what to do. So it's pretty much what you guys are doing.
So there is,
it's like,
there is hope.
So there's hope.
Yeah, there is hope.
There is
so
hope
yeah,
for me.
so I was in your shoes, and I was in your shoes at one point. So like intern and assistant. And
Butler assistant.
Butler,
Get that
Butler
straight.
secretary.
Yes.
Okay, no. So I ended up moving up, and then I became an assistant engineer. So I was assisting these sessions, and I was, you know, or I would take over. The engineer would leave, and I would have to take over the session. I did that for, no lie, maybe 4 to 8 months, and by that time, I had become a full-time engineer. And now they hired me on as I wasn't an assistant anymore. So it was like a total of 8 months of being an assistant and an intern. And then after that, I became my own engineer. And I had an assistant, and then who assisted me. And then I had some interns and stuff that would help out and whatnot. And so I was young. Looking back on it, I think I was in my early 20s. And so I'm like, dude, I'm dominating. I'm already young. Like, holy crap, this is awesome, right? And then after that, the owner of the studio, his name was David Small. He ended up coming into to one of the studios, and he's like, "Hey, let's gather everybody." And by that point I had been there probably about a year, close to 2 years. And he was like, "Man, we had a good run." And we're just like, "What do you mean?" What? He's like, "Yeah, this is over. Like, we're going under, and we're gonna sell the studio to the place that to MediaTek, the place where I had gone to school." And I was like, "Oh my god!" And I'm thinking at that point of job security, getting a paycheck. That was my mentality back in the day, and that was the wrong mentality to have, because the guy that I was assisting, who was our chief engineer at that time, he didn't have that mentality. He was like, "I'm an established engineer. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. I can find my own work. I don't need a studio." And me, I'm just like, "Oh, I need a studio. Like, I wonder if the school will hire me." And they're paying chump change compared to what I was making. And so I'm like, "Man, this sucks. Like, I'm literally going backwards." So I ended up losing that job. And that was probably the best thing that could ever happen to me, because then I got married with Karla. I was freelancing, and then I stopped, and then I got a real job. And for years, music was my side gig. And that's when I was starting to work with Myra. I was starting to work with other people, and just trying to get into the Hispanic Christian industry. But like I said, it wasn't until I got to like Aliento and with Jose and Paul that my mentality really, really changed, because even then I still didn't get it. I was still chasing a paycheck, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna build a brand. I'm gonna build something here. I'm gonna build a company, and go from there. So then I started my production company. At that time it was just me, and I was mixing and producing and all that good stuff, and then hired Dino, and then we just hired another producer onto our production company, and then we started the podcast between Dino and I. So he partners with me on. I make fun of him, and obviously I'd say he's my assistant. He is on the music side, but here he's actually my business partner, and so we're just doing. I mean, it's just one thing after another. You know what I mean? It's like literally we own like 3 different companies essentially. Obviously, Karla helps me run all the businesses, and yeah, and that's literally cliff notes. Nothing in between. Just quick, fast story.
Take notes, man.
No, but honestly, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. Thank you guys so much for watching, guys.
Hold on, wait before we close off. Just because we ran out
Weren't
of
you
time.
gonna wrap up, Tim? Like,
Oh, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I'm just gonna give him a random bean just because.
Okay. Oh, because he hasn't been here for the other episodes.
Exactly, so-
Gotcha. All right. What could that be?
I'm not even gonna just eat it,
Oh,
bro.
okay.
Just eat
All
the
right.
thing.
All right.
Eat
All
the
right.
thing,
Okay.
bro.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Jesus' name.
Wow.
He said.
In the name of Jesus.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
Let's see. Uh-oh. Is it bad?
I think it was a spoiled milk. It was spoiled milk.
Oh, God, bro. It was that bad?
Yeah.
He's gonna cry in the car.
Yeah, it's already red. Poor guy's all red and everything, bro. That's hilarious. There you go. That's a little taste. You want to come inside of this gang? Hey, let's say you
Step
got
into our realm, man.
You want to step
That's
into
what you
our
get.
realm?
You get bamboozled,
You
eh?
get bamboozled, eh? What you know about that bamboozled, bruh? Yeah, so, but no, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Guys, if you are not following Dino,
The greatest coffee maker.
go ahead and give your handles. And JP, same thing. Go ahead and give your handles.
Dino Music. Well, _ Dino Music.
_ Dino Music.
Instagram.
Yep. JP.
It's JP Nino _
There you go. And obviously, you guys should be following me by this point, but
Should.
but it's Tim Bros Music. Tim Bros?
Tim Bro Music.
Tim
Tim
Bro
Bro.
Music. Oh wow, I'm getting the podcast and my handles. Tim Bro Music.
Either way, follow both of those.
Yeah, whatever. It's something that you'll put in Tim and it'll
They'll
come.
be
I'm
in the description
I'm the
below.
first Tim that pops up. Okay, that's a fact. All right, check the stats on that. Yeah. Godly. But yeah, you guys can follow us there. Make sure you guys are following us on Tim's Bros Podcast, at Tim's Bros Podcast. Make sure you guys are liked and subscribed to the channel. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching the #1 trending podcast in the world. That is a fact. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. We love you. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Take it easy, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Peace.